Prehistoric Neanderthals and modern humans have a lot of differences. To the average onlooker, the concept of a Neanderthal brings about the image of a large-browed, unintelligent, and almost animalistic version of ourselves. They're viewed as less evolved, primate-like humans, almost like another species entirely. Well, in reality, they are. Despite the common belief that humans are of direct descent from Neanderthals, we are two separate species sharing a common ancestor. This misconception may stem from multiple sources, one being that humans and Neanderthals are so genetically similar that breeding was possible between the two. A very small percentage of modern humans carry Neanderthal DNA from these rare prehistoric crossbreeding events. What made us so similar to these short, stout, seemingly unintelligent, archaic beings? Neanderthals were not by any means stupid. Rather, there's evidence to suggest that they had not only developed sophisticated concepts like body ornaments and cosmetics, or what modern-day humans would call jewelry. Archaeologists have found seashells not only strung together to be worn like beads, but painted. Such a seemingly small distinction may be viewed as insignificant upon first glance, but let's take a deeper dive into what this discovery implies. Archaeologists have concluded that this suggests Neanderthals were capable of complex thought, like symbolism or class identification, whereby a higher class individual might wear shells of a certain pigment, distinguishing them from the rest of the tribe. If this were not the case, this could also imply an early sense of fashion. This sort of behavior is a hallmark of not only an intelligent species, but of a social species, akin to early humans. Another form of abstract and symbolic behavior is language. Whilst voices and languages can't be fossilized in the same way jewelry or tools can, we can draw conclusions about the Neanderthals' language from their brain and vocal cord structures. Archaeologists have found that Neanderthals, amazingly, had the capacity to perceive and produce human speech, meaning that if Homo sapiens had heard a nearby Neanderthal, they would recognize them as human. By generating 3D models of their ear structures, scientists are able to deduce that they had the capability to communicate at the same frequencies of human speech. So if such intelligent, complex, and abstract species were so similar in advancements and likeness, why did one go on to conquer the entire planet and the other completely fall off the face of the earth? Around 400,000 years ago, Neanderthals were prolific across much of Europe and Western Africa. They hunted the large game native to the region during the Ice Age. Mammoths, bison, and woolly rhino were all on the menu for our hairy cousins during this time period. At the time, food was abundant enough to support the limited dietary constraints of the Neanderthal. But then disaster struck. An event completely inconceivable to the Neanderthal: climate change. The quickly rising temperatures made many of the animals that were integral to the diet of the Neanderthal retreat to colder environments. This gave the Neanderthal two options: follow or starve. The former, a much better option, was only a temporary solution to a growing problem faced by our ancient cousins. Many of these creatures almost completely died out, further starving a hungry population. To make matters worse, modern humans migrated from Africa to Europe around this time. In contrast to Neanderthals, Homo sapiens had a much more varied diet. We were capable of eating fish, birds, deer, horses, and goats, just to name a few. In addition to this, Homo sapiens also had an appetite for the same animals that Neanderthals needed to survive. This caused an intense struggle for resources between the two species. However, Homo sapiens had an ace up their sleeve. The bow and arrow was a revolutionary tool that completely changed the way that modern humans survived. No longer was it a matter of brute strength, but of agility and cunning. Using this specialized tool, a single hunter could hunt their prey from a distance with little risk. It was faster, safer, and a complete game changer. While there is evidence to suggest that Neanderthals began to adapt this technology, it mattered little due to their innate biological disadvantages. They were suited for the cold, while Homo sapiens thrived in the now comparatively warm environment of Europe and Asia. And then there was the final invention that gave Homo sapiens the edge in this power struggle: the sewing needle. While it doesn't seem like much, the sewing needle was integral to the survival of modern humans in their new environment. Creating clothing that insulated themselves from the environment allowed for humans to become prolific across almost the entire land mass. The complete and utter downfall of the Neanderthal took a mere 5,000 years. The cause? Humans and climate change. But let's rewind a bit. before the complete downfall of our ancient cousins, to a time when humans and Neanderthals existed in the same time and place, 45,000 years in the past. You are a member of a small tribe of 5. This cave is your home, or at least is your home now. You and your kin have been following the movement of your prey for many moons. Life definitely is not easy. Your family grows more hungry by the day, but it seems as though your prey has eluded you despite your best efforts. The food that you manage to catch or hunt is small and malnourished, a far cry from the hearty meal that your body so desperately craves. You absent-mindedly turn up a carved bone pendant created by your mother in the palm of your hand, examining the crude markings and chips created by her unsteady hand. As you loop a coarse frayed mammoth hair cord back into the pendant, you hear your mother and father enter the cave. Your mother is a stout woman with a large, barrel-like torso. Her voice is shrill and loud, almost deafening. She has powerful arms, a large, sloping brow, and is almost completely covered in hair. Your father is a tall man with slender appendages. He moves deftly and with grace, but you sense great power behind his movements. There is sorrow in their eyes and nothing in their arms. You will go hungry again tonight. Your father insists that they continue following the herd towards the mountains, rising like jagged teeth in the now barren landscape. But your mother protests. Her body cannot take any more of the walking and the heat. In truth, neither can yours. Your father leaves the cave again, determined to not let his tribe go hungry. Defeated, your mother slumps into a cool corner of the cave and starts chipping away at a piece of stone, possibly making another crude knife or pendant for your father. This was the scene that researchers stumbled upon in the Bako Kiro cave in modern-day Bulgaria. This was the life of a small band of Neanderthals and humans, and also the life of many Homo sapiens and Neanderthals 45,000 years ago. In this cave, they found the remains of 5 humans and Neanderthals and evidence to suggest that breeding between the two species was taking place. It still occurred much more frequently than scientists and researchers had originally thought. Stone tools, pendants, jewelry, and ornaments made from animal bones were found in the cave. Also found in this cave was the earliest known record of modern humans in Europe.